My name is Ethan Cole, and the moment I said those words, I knew the truth I had been avoiding for months had finally surfaced. Good luck on your date, I told her, half as a joke, half as a test, and the look on her face said everything I needed to know. Maya and I had been together for 3 years. We'd built what I thought was a steady, honest relationship. Shared dreams, late-night talks, weekend road trips, plans for a future that felt certain. But over the last few months, I'd felt something shifting. Her laughter didn't sound the same. Her phone always seemed glued to her hand, and every time I asked about her day, her answers grew shorter. I wanted to believe it was stress from work or simple fatigue. I wanted to believe in her the way I always had. But the truth has a way of revealing itself in silence more than words. It started with small details. New clothes she said she bought, just because, dinners she claimed were with co-workers, messages that seemed to arrive only when I wasn't looking. I tried not to pry. I've never been the jealous type, and I thought love meant trust, not suspicion. But when she told me one Friday evening that she'd be staying out late for a networking dinner, something in me clicked. I simply smiled, leaned against the counter, and said, "Good luck on your date." The air froze. For a split second, the playful expression on her face vanished. Her eyes widened, and her hand paused mid-air as she grabbed her purse. She didn't respond right away, just stood there, like a person who had been caught not by words, but by the absence of denial. That silence told me more than any confession could. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I simply walked away and let the silence speak for me. That night, I sat alone, thinking about the years I had poured into that relationship. The compromises, the late nights waiting for her to come home, the plans we made that now seemed like someone else's dream. But I also realized something deeper. I had lost myself trying to hold on to something that had already slipped away. And in that moment of clarity, I decided not to react emotionally but to respond strategically. With calmness, dignity, and a quiet kind of revenge that doesn't need to hurt anyone, only to prove that I could rise above betrayal. Over the next few weeks, while Maya tried to patch things with vague apologies and explanations, I focused on rebuilding my own life. I threw myself into my work, landing a major contract that changed everything for my career. I moved into a new apartment, started meeting new people, and most importantly, I reconnected with the version of myself I had neglected. The one with ambition, curiosity, and peace of mind. Meanwhile, I could see the guilt wearing her down. Her texts became longer, filled with "I miss you" and "Can we talk?" But I never needed closure from someone who had already shown me who they were. A few months later, I attended a charity gala hosted by a company I had just partnered with. As fate would have it, she was there too, standing beside the man she had chosen instead. She saw me across the room, confident, calm, and surrounded by people who respected me for my work. When our eyes met, I gave a polite nod, the same kind I would offer any acquaintance. The look on her face said everything again, not guilt this time, but realization. Realization that the man she had underestimated had moved on, grown stronger, and left her behind in every sense. I didn't need to say a word. The silence did it for me again. That night, as I left the event, I remembered that small moment in the kitchen, her frozen expression when I said, "Good luck on your date." It had once been a sentence full of pain, but now it felt like the moment I took back control of my life. Some people think revenge is loud or destructive, but I've learned it can be quiet, just living well, succeeding silently, and refusing to let betrayal define you. I told her, "Good luck on your date," and the look on her face said everything, because that was the moment she realized I no longer needed her, and she had already lost me long before she ever walked out the door.